It's freezing outside, and everyone is hiding inside for one reason or another, and that must mean it's time for a new season of anime. "2021 was probably one of the best years of anime in the last decade, with heavy hitters like Odd Taxi, Jobless Reincarnation, Vivi, the last season of Fruits Basket, Bantas, and Megalobox Nomad. To be perfectly honest, the winter season of 2022 is looking a little underwhelming, excluding a few exceptions, but there are definitely shows to keep your eyes on. Starting the list, we have World's End Harem, which if you couldn't tell by the name follows our protagonist, Mizuharu Reito, who is one of the 5 males left in the world. A mysterious virus called the Man Killer has killed all other men, and the only reason Reito survived was because he was in cryosleep. Before he went into cold sleep, he promised his crush that he would come back for her. But after waking up, Reito is asked to help repopulate the world. This show honestly sounds like something that would have been very popular in the 2010s. Currently is streaming on Crunchyroll, and due to that, they have to censor some scenes, as you can see. And all I gotta say is, this is some advanced censor tech. Forget your white beams and mysterious fog, we have sci-fi pixels. If this premise is at all interesting, I'd recommend watching at least 3 episodes. My dress-up darling is going to be one of the hidden gems of this season. Wakana Gojo has made traditional Japanese dolls since he was a young child. Because of this, he hasn't made any friends and is an outcast in his class. That's when Marin Kitagawa comes flying, literally, into his life. She is a cheerful girl with lots of friends and is passionate about things that she likes. Wakana feels that she is in a completely different world than him, because she is able to express her love for her interests in front of anyone. One day after school, Wakana is working on making some clothes for his doll, when Kitagawa discovers what he's doing. At first, Wakana is scared that Kitagawa is going to make fun of him, but she quickly embraces his passion. Then Kitagawa shares that she wants to get into cosplay, and that Wakana should make her outfits. This is the first time that Wakana has found someone who acknowledges his passions and helps him stick up for himself. This is going to be an incredibly beautiful and heartwarming show that everyone should watch. From the creator of Danganronpa, we have a new anime series which I can only describe by using the ancient meme of, well, that escalated quickly. The young people in Japan have begun forming gangs. In order to sort out their issues, they turn to the one thing that unites all people, baseball, but extreme. Haru Shirogane, who's probably Makoto Negi's grandson or something, is a timid person who has extremely good reflexes, who falls upwards into joining the best baseball team in Japan. If you enjoyed any of Danganronpa's games or anime, then you'll probably enjoy this as well. But if you haven't, I'd give it 3 episodes, because it seems like a silly popcorn show. The second season of Bantas is back, and I was missing this fun and bizarre series. If you didn't watch the first season, I would highly recommend you go back and watch it. The story follows a human named Bantas, who has the ability to cure vampires of their corruption. He is joined by Noe, who is a vampire, and together they must navigate the many conspiracies that are being created by different fractions of both humans and vampires alike. The ongoing mysteries, and especially the chemistry of the characters, is what really drives this show. But special mention goes to the beautifully animated fight scenes as well. Without a doubt, I recommend watching all of this show. Pop quiz. You and your friends get a phone call from your dead friend's sister. She projects an image into your brain showing someone will be killed by a speeding train unless you pull a lever and divert the train. But doing so will cause even more casualties. What do you do? I bet you didn't expect the answer would be you and your friends gain superhuman abilities from the phone call, and you outrun the train to save the person before the train hits them. That is the answer the Pokemon Star protagonists of Tokyo 24th Ward decide to do. I am curious where this show will be going, as outside of the superpowered heroism, it has set up some very interesting social commentary about authority and power imbalances in the world. So I would say give the show 3 episodes and we'll see where it goes. Spky Bisco is another diamond in the rough of this season. It has some of the best world building in the first episode, creating a very organic world that I haven't seen in a while. The story opens by telling the audience the world has become post-apocalyptic due to a disease causing everyone to rust. There are a group of people spreading mushrooms around the world, which is rumored to make the rust spread as well. The story follows a doctor who treats people in a town for rust, and at the end of the episode watches the titular character make giant mushrooms erupt all across the city. But most importantly, the show has a top-tier waifu, and all I can say is, Mommy. I think this show will be one that everyone should check out. From the creators of Maggie, The Kingdom of Magic, we are taking a trip to Japan, but it's been taken over by monsters called Kishin. Our main characters, Aladdin and Alibaba, Musashi and Kojiro, were taught that Bushi, which are pretty much just samurai, were evil, and that Kishin saved the common people from their tyranny. But we know the story goes where those in control power get to decide who is good and who is evil. This means Musashi and Kojiro are going to become the best Bushi they can and fight against the evil Kishin. If you enjoyed Magi, then this show will be in your wheelhouse, and if not, I give it 3 episodes and see if you liked it. Now it's time for everyone's favorite genre of anime. That's right, it's isekai time. Starting off, we have the strongest sage with the weakest crest, which has done something no other isekai show has done, which was condense 6.5 double-length chapters of manga into 1 episode of anime. Though technically this isn't really an isekai show, because the main character uses a spell to have him reincarnate into the future, and he doesn't go to another world, but has all the power fantasy of normal isekai, so I'm going to count it. If you enjoyed other isekai shows, this will be a fun, good popcorn show. Definitely give it a watch. If nothing else is giving us a screenshot that can rival Shirei's infamous "people die when they are killed" from Fate Stay Night, so thank you for that, strongest sage. In the Land of Lidale is a super comfy isekai show that follows an office worker who reincarnates into the body of her video game character 200 years in the future from when she played. She takes the reincarnation in stride and decides to see the new world with her own eyes. Within the system of the game, she was able to make NPCs into her children, so now she gets to see how they grew up during the time she was away. What's most impressive about this show is that the original light novel was released in 2010, which makes this the oldest modern isekai story that I'm familiar with. If you enjoy comfy stories, I would definitely check this out. Now we have one of my personal favorites of the season, which is Season 2 of A Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. Our protagonist, Kazuya Soma, was summoned to another world as a hero. He was summoned because the kingdom was falling apart due to lack of food and corruption within the government. Kazuya, who is studying to be a civil servant, outlines plans to bring the kingdom back into order, and upon hearing his suggestions, the king abdicates the throne. From there, Kazuya gathers a council of trusted allies, and not through strength, but through strategy, resolves the many issues that come his way. I know this show won't be for everyone, but I really enjoy it. I'm sure some of you will too. Now, Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt is not an isekai show. But if I had a nickel for every time the protagonist used smart governance strategy to benefit their country this season, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it happened twice. If you already enjoyed Realist Hero or found the description to be interesting, then I think you'll enjoy this show as well. The thing that really distinguishes this series is that it's more focused on comedy, and the main character suffers from success. The protagonist is a prince who just wants to live a comfortable life without any responsibility, but all his decisions work out great. Give the show 3 episodes if you like the idea. The title manga that wants to be a light novel goes to Life with an Ordinary Guy Who Reincarnated into a Total Fantasy Knockout. The story follows Phoenix Wright knockoff, and totally not a hentai protagonist. After one night, the hentai protagonist wishes he was a girl, and the goddess decides to grant his wish and transport both of them to a fantasy world. But now he's a girl. After harassing the goddess, she curses our idiots into falling in love with each other. Have I mentioned our knockoff Phoenix Wright hates women? I will say it was cool to see the show get the gold split for having the main characters awaken as bisexual speed. The show is dumb and silly. If you're interested, give it 3 episodes. Now, all the other shows in this video, I would at least recommend giving 3 episodes to see if you enjoy it. But that is not the case with this show, unless you want to watch a dumpster fire. This show is another case of if I had a nickel for every time main protagonist was turned into a cute anime girl in a fantasy world this season, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it happened twice. This show is bad. Attack of the Bad CGI bad. What's even crazier is this show decides to have the last half to quarter of the first episode without any dialogue. There's a reason this show is already below a 6 on my anime list. Whatever you do, do not check out this show. Now we have come to the crown jewel of this season. At this point, if you haven't heard of Attack on Titan, and this is your first time hearing of it, you must have been living under a rock. 8 years after the first season came out, we will finally be seeing the end of this series. I haven't read the manga, but I have heard rumblings from the manga community that the ending is controversial. So we will see how the series will stick its landing. Honestly, I think Attack on Titan is going to be a modern anime classic. If you haven't already watched it, you should drop every other show and join in. If nothing else, this season has given us a beautiful thing. That's right, that's Eldia's ass. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and until next time.